An exhausted Somali man wakes in the dawn light. Having spent the last week travelling to escape the fighting in Mogadishu, he and his family finally arrived at the Dadaab refugee camp in Kenya late last night and slept outside the registration centre. Dozens more arrive every day, around 6,000 in the last month. This family were forced to leave behind their elderly mother, who was too sick to travel, as they fled the fighting in the Somali capital. But on the journey here, they were ambushed, and 2 of their brothers were killed.
I was surprised at how bad the journey was, but I feel better now that I'm in a more peaceful place.
Life in Mogadishu is very hard. You can't go to the market, you can find home. There's so many bombs and mass killings.
As the fighting continues to intensify in and around Mogadishu, so does the strain on the camp. Dadaab was established in the early 1990s with a capacity for 90,000 people, but there are now nearly 300,000 people, making it the biggest refugee camp in the world. Lanai and her family have been here for several years.
Life here is very hard, and you can see how poor the living conditions are. I'm not getting enough services.
The UN says a funding shortfall has led to major gaps in water supply and that only 1/5 of families have enough space and adequate housing. And although the camp is now expanding, with thousands of refugees arriving every month, it is almost impossible to keep up with their needs.
There is very little hope for return to Somalia in the near future because of the worsening situation there. The last 10 days, 23,000 people fled Mogadishu. Since the beginning of the year, 200,000 people fled Mogadishu. And the tragedy there is looming over this population that really feels it every day, knowing that the chances to have a solution for their plight are not yet there.
Although the refugees here have escaped the violence in Mogadishu, what lies ahead for them is another sort of battle. And until there is a political solution in Somalia, it's one they could be fighting for many years to come.